ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Warframe. I'm your host of the most, as always, Francois878. Today we're going to be talking about update 16.11, a very important update. This update has several changes, and the biggest one is the new Prime Access. This Prime Access introduces Ash Prime, the Vectis Prime, Carrier Prime, and its weapon, the Sweeper Prime, as well as some accessories to deck out your frame and Sentinels with. It's a pretty decent Prime Access. I'm decently happy with the amount of stuff that we got in the past. I think they've kind of, maybe thrown us over the barrel on a couple of Prime Accesses. But the Sentinel plus a weapon plus a frame, I'm generally pretty happy with this. Ash Prime, I'm gonna give him a chance. Ash has not been my favorite frame in the past. I've definitely disliked him as a frame, but I'm gonna give Ash Prime another shot to impress me. The Vectis Prime I've already used a little bit, and I love it. I love the Vectis Prime. I never really used the Vectis a whole lot because I was primarily a bow guy. I am primarily a bow guy. But I've always heard good things about it. So when I heard that Vectis Prime was coming out on this Prime Access, I was really excited. I was like, this is my chance to get in to sniper rifles and all that. Now, Carrier Prime, I think it's pretty unanimous that most people use Carrier pretty much exclusively. Now, occasionally I'll use a Kubro just when I, want to mix things up a little bit. But if I'm doing anything difficult or that I'm going to need, a companion that I can rely on, I pick Carrier. And Carrier Prime, it looks awesome and has definitely some upgrades to Carrier. So Carrier was definitely the one I was most excited to see in this Prime Access when that information leaked a few weeks ago. It's really exciting. But as far as those are the main items, we're also getting the Yamako Prime Sayandana in this Prime Access. I am a big fan of Prime Sayandanas. I missed the very, technically, I think the first one in the Ember Prime Access. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's one of the coolest Sayandanas in the game, and I beat myself up to this day for not picking it up. But the Yamako Sindana, the normal one, I like the design of it, but the problem is that on a couple of the frames, the Sayandana will actually clip through the frame at some points, and I can't stand that. I can't handle it. So I don't usually use it. But the Yamako Prime Sayandana, it fixes the clipping problem and looks badass. It is definitely the best of the Yamako. There are a bunch of different Yamako Sayandanas, different variants, and I have to say the Yamako Prime is definitely the coolest looking. Plus, it's going to get the most use because it fixes the clipping problem. There's also the Unda, U-N-D-A. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. Those are the Prime Sentinel accessories that you can slap on your brand new Carrier Prime if you pick up one of the Prime Access packs or the Prime accessories. It looks okay. I'm not in love with the with those particular pieces of armor for the Sentinels, but what are you going to do? And of course, these Prime Access packs come with the avatar pictures and the affinity and credit boosters as well. Those are traditional. Those come in every single one. Overall, I have to say that this Prime Access, I'm happy about it. I'm very positive about it. There have been Prime Accesses in the past where I feel like I'm just kind of getting gypped, and I'm happy with this. I'm happy that I picked it up, and I'm looking forward to doing more videos on each individual item because they're pretty cool. Other changes, though, in Update 16.11 Ash and Ash Prime are now available to use in the Conclave. This is something that they've been slowly but surely, adding new frames to the Conclave, and I like that basically whenever a Prime version comes out or a new version of a weapon comes out, they also usually throw it in Conclave. I like that trend that they have going. Because right now, a lot of my favorite frames aren't available in the Conclave, which is probably a good part of why I suck at Conclave. But also, obviously, along with that, the Vectis and the Vectis Prime are also available in the Conclave for your PvP murdering pleasure. Some excavation changes as well. The spawn rates for this particular mission type will now be replaced by the survival logic in that instead of a slow stream of enemies, they will now be more coordinated waves with pauses in the middle. This is a logic that was introduced into survival probably back in January or February, I believe, and I have not heard anything good or bad about it. I honestly haven't really noticed much of a difference. If I'm really paying attention, I'm sure I would, but it's apparently going to make it easier on hosts, the people who are hosting games with frame rate issues, hopefully. So anything that can, make the missions run more smoothly, I'm all for that. And there hasn't been a giant outcry on the forums about it, so I assume everything is fine. Next thing on the list, what has created a big wrinkle in everyone's panties is the change that we all kind of knew was on the way. Is now Mag's Greedy Pull Augment mod only draws items for Mag. Instead of the entire team getting access to what Mag pulls in, now it's only Mag. And it really, it actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Greedy Pull, it really is only for Mag. So logically, it makes sense. And it breaks Mag as far as Draco runs and stuff. Unfortunately, people have just gone back to Trinity. There you go. Mag, unfortunately, has been returned back to the useless tier. Now, unfortunately, she wasn't really all that useful to begin with, mostly just on Draco runs. But it's sad to see a frame just be so completely unusable. She's just... I wish Mag was better. I wish she had more utility. I wish she was more useful. It sucks that there's an entire frame that I can't play because she stinks. She's one specific enemy type that she's good against, and that's pretty much it. And even against that particular enemy type, the Corpus, she's questionable. But hey, what are you gonna do? This, was DE's fix to the Draco meta. And, of course, most players have already figured out a way to get around it again. Until, of course, Trinity gets nerfed again. But, everyone's in an uproar about it. We saw it coming. They announced that change in the last dev stream. So, shit happens. It sucks. But that's the way of things. That's the way of...